Hello, hello, everybody. Whoa, so long! Thank you for that 40-month sub. Lou, you're out of control. Also, hi, Gabriel. How you doing? Let me go. Hold on, I gotta go find you, Cal. I gotta... Hold on. Jeffrey. Oh, yeah. I resubscribed. I did it. I did it. With the power of Jeff Bezos. You probably just got an Audible drop. And also, maybe a badge for underwear from Audible, which is hilarious. Drops are funny. Drops are silly. Y'all, I have to do surgery. I have to do so much surgery on this script. I'm almost there. Thank you for that biddy, Gabriel. Appreciate you. And yes, everybody should hydrate. Everybody should hydrate. We're going to be doing sprints today, and I'm going to be doing surgery on this script. So it's going to be a lot of editing today. Editing / writing, but I need to get this thing down to a reasonable size. And we're going to figure out how to do that. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, thank you for more biddies. Appreciate you. I have actually never sent biddies. Surgery on a grape. That's what it feels like. That is what it feels like. All right. I'm looking at a bunch of stuff that I have to do today. Thank you for that lurk, Chips. Thank you, thank you. Right, so effectively what we got going on is I have chapter 42. I'm trying to eliminate as many pages as humanly possible. You can see how many pages I've already thrown away. And an entire chapter. So, I'm trying to actively just completely deconstruct everything that we have going on here. And that's crazy. That's crazy. So I'm on chapter 42. I have through chapter 47 in this document. And then I have 3 more chapters in another document. And then I'm thinking it's probably just time for me to just finish writing this script. Or I can wait. I don't know. Anything is possible. I have to try and figure out if I want to do this today or if I want to write my novella. And the answer is probably writing the script is a good idea. Hi, Mariners. How are you today? I have a lot of things to think about. So we're going to tackle it. We're going to do some writing sprints and we're going to tackle it. And I'm going to try and get my brain to do what I need it to do. I am very sleepy. I just haven't been sleeping well the last couple nights, and then it also doesn't help that Mr. Man is, like, punching everything at, like, super, super, super early in the morning, and I'm like, why? Why you do this? Sir? Senor? I have learned a thing, and by a thing I mean, I have learned that overall, Save-On Foods in Canada is the equivalent of Kroger. from the US, and they're overpriced and silly. That's the thing I learned. Yeah, I work on my comic script very, like, on and off. This is for a massive project that I'm trying to cut down from potentially, like, a 10 to 15 year comics project to a 5 to 6 or 5 to 7 year comics project, because I've already dumped, like, 300 pages of my life into the comic, which you can, by the way, read entirely for free on Webtoon and Tapas, and any engagement would be super helpful. But I had a little bit of an existential dread breakdown the other day, and that was simply that I've put effectively, like, I've been working on this comic for, I think, just under a decade. And that has also included 2 restarts of the comic where my like drawing was just not up to snuff, and the first original, like, initial version of this comic was ugly as fuck looking. It was really bad. So now that my art style is good, I would say that I've really been working on this rewrite of this comic since, like, 2021 or 2022. So truly, I've put about, like, a solid 5 years into 300 pages of this comic already, and the comic has about 200 subscribers across all platforms. So what I was hoping was going to happen is that with consistency and with continuing to post the comic more frequently, that more eyes would get onto it as I advertised it on social media, etc., etc. And that, long story short, is not at all what happened. So, my dopamine reward system in my brain is asking itself the question, like, why adapt such a large comic project if very few people are going to read it? And I still want to finish it, though, because my brain will not let me do the alternative, which is not finish it, and I will be more bothered by not finishing it than I would be by just leaving it alone. So that being said, I gotta finish it, but now the main challenge is structurally reducing this thing down to be hopefully what will be a less than 1,000 page comic. So that would mean that I'm at page 300 right now, and that gives me about another, like, I recognize I say that it takes 5 years to get through 300 pages. That was when I was working at a pace of 1 page a week, and so reasonably I could have gotten all of these pages done in about 2.5 years. And then if I do 3 pages a week, the pacing goes up exponentially, obviously, right? So I have some math logistics questions to do as well, but really what needs to happen is I actually just need to finish this stream, or this script first, and then go from there. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is mostly continuing to perform massive amounts of surgery on what I've already written, and then figuring out what I want to do going forward with these arcs, and how I want to, like, wrap up the comic after this. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for the stream streaks, y'all. You're amazing. But yeah, I think we can jump into that first sprint this morning. So I'm going to roll the dice of fate. And we got 22. 22! And sounds good. Good luck working on your novel. That is so exciting. Feel free to tell everybody in the chat what it's about if you would like to. I'm sure everybody would be so excited to hear about your work. But to start, I'm going to go ahead and get this 22-minute sprint going, and I'm going to just lock in on suffering. So I'll see you all at the end of 22 minutes, and I'll talk to you soon. Here we go. Alright, everybody, how do we do? I didn't get a lot of writing done, I did a lot of problem solving, and I think I figured it out, and that also means I'm going to be deleting so many pages. So I have to rewrite this entire chapter, but I think I'm going to be doing okay. Also, hi Blades if you're still here. Alright, my first book and writing project in general is a YA based in a small seaside town in Maine. The book follows the main character Noah and his group of friends. After the worst storm that the town has seen in over 50 years damages the school gym, they're unable to have prom. Womp womp. This is when Noah has the idea that he could save prom. Yeah, woo! Save prom! Can they overcome the lack of resources, isolated location, and others trying to stop them? Very cool. So would you consider it like just contemporary? It's like just normal kids dealing with normal stuff in a normal day scenario? So like contemporary drama? But that sounds very cool. It sounds very like small town drama. Not the prom. That's all I gotta say. Oh yeah, gotcha. Oh yeah, I can definitely do a cover. I do covers for any books. Like, as I said, I mean, let me go find Gary. Hold on. Gary! The last cover that I did... Where is it? I haven't had a cover commission in a while, but the last one that I did... Oh, actually, this was an earlier version. Let me find the final. The last one that I did was this one for a non-fiction veterinary textbook, so I do it for everybody, you know. Shout out to my man Gary. Gary and his elephant feet. He's fucking cool. He's from Switzerland. Tee! Oh, tee! I was like, that was the wrong one. That was the ooh button. I'm so used to Lear popping the ooh that I just reflexively went for it. Oh, I see. Oh my god, I wanted them to write about fixing an old community center, so I needed a reason for them to fix it. You're like, this is my plot point. I love that, though. That's actually kind of sweet, though. Making, new, wonderful things that benefit the whole community out of a really terrible situation, you know? I love that. Hi, Carol. I'm doing okay. I spent a lot of that last sprint also eating breakfast, too, so... I'm eating some turkey and some egg. And some bread. But I think I have good direction for where this comic is supposed to go. I think I know what I need to do. I know what I must do. I'm doing okay. I took into account Lear's words of wisdom, and I think I now know the best places to get groceries in not in Colorado, in Canada. To save some money. Because I realized Save on Foods is low-key kind of expensive. But I think we figured out a solution. I know what I must do. I really like the Whole Foods in my neighborhood, though. Oh, I bought a cactus! Hold on, wait, guys, hold on. I gotta show you my new plants. Hold on! My babies! My children! Wait a second. Hold on. Okay, so first, I was really sad because Jace's mom got us a money plant when we were in Denver. And, we had to, like, give it back to, I don't remember who took it, whether it was her or Sujong. But we had to give it back because we couldn't take it across the Canadian border. So my mom was super nice, and she bought me a money plant. So that's really nice. This is not the cactus, but I figured I'd show off this plant. Secondly, I had an Argentinian old man cactus, and it died. Because I tried to repot it, and I should not be allowed to do gardening things, so I bought another Argentinian old man cactus. And this one has 3 babies on it. So, they're very cute. And they're very soft. Just think they're very neat. This one is spiky as hell. I'm scared of this one. I don't like that. I don't know. Can you guys can see that. This one is evil. All the other two are just like, maybe. And they're like so soft, but like, that's terrifying. So yeah, those are my new plants. Yeah. I got plants. I love them. Yeah, that's Mariners exactly. Whatever that emote is, yes. I have not pricked myself on a cactus since I was a child, but I'm ready for death. And yes, I am working on the script. Yeah, I'm just going through and massively deleting a bunch of chapters. I originally had the Whitebone arc in here, and I'm getting rid of that arc entirely, so I'm jumping around a little bit. My initial goal with this was to try and be as faithful to the original as much as I possibly could, but I realized that with the scope of this project, that's just not going to be possible, so I'm going to have to cut some stuff. Womp womp. Got back from shopping, and then finished decluttering my hanging closet. Very nice! That sounds very productive. Yeah, that's nice, that's nice. Yeah, rip the Bone Demon. She would have died either way, so... She's either going to die on page or just not exist in the first place. And I've gone with option number 2. And that's okay. So I need to write a new transitionary chapter. And then... yeah. We'll see. Oh no. Productive, but I feel like I was ran over. Sometimes that's the way that it is. I understand. It doesn't make it any fun. I'm still traumatized by the pierogies, Caro. I'm mostly just so mad because I saw that they had pelmeni, and I was like, oh, pelmeni, I love pelmeni, let's go get some of that. These look amazing. And then I looked next to it, and it was by the same Ukrainian company. And I was like, well, these look like Varyaniki. I was like, what are they? And then on the bag, it just in just bold pierogies. I can't get over it. It's so funny. Something we don't need, Bone Demon. That old famous quote, right? Yeah, if I had all the time in the world, I would love to be able to adapt all these stories, but some of them are just not as consequential. And like what makes Journey to the West tricky is that the original story is more of a collection of like word of mouth stories. And then on top of that too, the delivery of Journey to the West in the 1400s and the 1500s was effectively like the first viral anime serial. And so like the way that you would consume this content back in the day was like you'd have either like puppet actors or shadow box actors or stage actors acting these things out. And effectively every chapter of all 100 chapters of Journey to the West end with next time the Monkey King is going to, so be sure to come back. And then the next time, the next chapter is just another extension of that episode. So not only is there a surprising lack of overarching plot, where like you do have the major thing that they're trying to do, which is get to India to get the scriptures and then come back to China with said scriptures, right? But in between is like an Mpreg episode and like the Bone Demon and like all of this random shit. But that was just how it was designed. That is the overall thing. And I'll never forgive the Yuan Dynasty Wukong having an iron hoop because he was a pervert. I can't. Oh my god. Yeah, no, there's a lot of sexual jokes in there. Some of the stuff I'm omitting because it's just not very tasteful necessarily for today's audience, but a lot of it is very, very clever and very funny. So it's effectively like my job to try and figure out how to condense this into a project that I can actually finish. And my goal with this is still the same goal that I had at the beginning, which is stay as authentically true to the original content as possible while helping Western audiences understand it. Because what I don't like about the adaptations for Western versions of Journey to the West is that they either do one of two things. The first is that they omit all Chinese mythology from it because the world is so expansive. It would be like if you watched the Odyssey and then they didn't explain any of the mythology behind it. And so Athena shows up, and imagine you don't know at all anything about Greek mythology, and you're like, who the fuck is this? And then she's like shooting laser beams and stuff, and you have literally no idea who this is. Or the worst part is, maybe it's even worse than that, where instead of Athena showing up and shooting lasers and you don't know who she is, she gets eliminated from the Odyssey entirely. And so then the story just becomes about this dude wandering around, right? And there's no context for the story at all. And so I feel like a lot of adaptations do that. Or they're adaptations that are designed explicitly for a Chinese audience who already knows who all of these characters are, in the same way that we already assume that most people know who the Greek gods are because Western culture is pretty heavily laden with that mythology already. So when you show up and watch a Greek mythology adaptation, like with Disney's Hercules, for example, you don't need to introduce Zeus and Hera and Hades and Hermes and all of these gods, because most people already know who they are, and so Disney's able to really quickly throw in a single one-liner to describe who that person is or who their role is. But Chinese adaptations don't even do that, where like Naja will just show up and then Wukong's like, oh, you little snivelly-faced brat, it's you again. And then the audience goes, oh my god, I know who that is. But then every Westerner is gonna go, who the fuck is that? Like, I don't understand. So a lot of the critiques I've seen from Western animation critics especially on any kind of Journey to the West media is, I don't know what's going on. Like, that was Saber Sparks' like overall vibe when watching Naja 2, is that he was super fucking confused. And then for me, as somebody who's really familiar with Chinese mythology, I was like, oh, I know exactly what's going on. I know who these characters are. I know who these cameos are, and I find enjoyment in them. But that still alienates a whole group of people who are not very familiar with that. So it's that balancing act of like, how do I make this palatable for Western audiences without just erasing big core messages of this thing, which is ultimately like, at the end of the day, people fuck up and they need to learn how to get better. So it's been relatively challenging. And now I'm running into a position where I don't want to be working on this comic every week for the next 20 years, so I have to figure it out. Oh, somebody honking on the street, somebody yelling. Yeah, and making Sean a relatable character, and most importantly, having Wukong have some semblance of character growth, because in the original, none of the characters have character growth. All of them are flat, because that's the style of storytelling. It's almost like watching Commedia dell'arte, where Il Dottore is going to be the same. La Princesa is going to be the same. They're not going to change characters because they're archetypes, right? And so taking something that's really episodic and really archetypical and making it not episodic and not archetypical while also still keeping the original shit. So, yeah, kind of interesting. Oh gosh, that's a question, Mariners. I think it depends on what kind of books you're in the mood for. The Brady books are my bread and butter. I love them so much. And if I had, they're not my strongest writing, just as like a, I guess for context. But I think if I had to sum up any of like what those books are about, let me see, I wrote a little fucking marketing thing earlier. Where is it? I did a pretty, like, I sat down and really looked at my work. Let me figure out what I wrote. So, Brady, it gives effectively what if your extended family was an Addams Family-esque collection of supernatural disasters who bicker constantly but would tear reality apart for one another. And it is, Brady's definitely the heart of the story, and he is a protagonist who, is, his superpower is his compassion. So it is for younger audiences, it's a middle grade, but I tend to focus a lot on generational trauma and on, you know, like really intense interpersonal relationships. The 5-book trajectory starts from like, oh, my family is weird, and then gradually kind of reveals why everybody became weird. And thankfully, the feedback I've gotten on it is that the adult characters are super, super interesting for adult readers as well. So that would be what I would start with if it was me. I always point people in the direction of Brady, but if you're looking for something that is an older audience, I would probably recommend Court of Snakes. Like, I recognize that a lot of my work is for younger audiences because I predominantly write middle grade and YA. But Court of Snakes, I just released the sequel this year, and that one is really politically charged. So, if you want something that's fun and is going to make you feel really, really good at the end of reading it, it's definitely Brady. And also, they're very fast. The first one's like 50k, and then the ones after that are legit like 30 to 35k. They're very, very quick. But Court of Snakes, the first one, again, is not one of my best pieces because it was an older book that I had to rewrite and rehash to polish it up. But I still really like the heart of the story, and I like the magic system. So that was a long answer. It's like trying to pick my favorite children, you know? I'm like, I don't know. But thank you for taking a look at my work. I really do appreciate that a lot. I think it's also because Greek mythology is taught in primary schools. Yes, in Western schools, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of the same here in the U.S., Karo, you're right. And so imagine, like, that's really the thing is it's like, for Chinese schools, Chinese mythology is taught in those primary schools, right? And so it's effectively introducing an audience to how the rules of mythology work, but then also to how the rules of Buddhism and Taoism also work, because a lot of people, unless you're living in the right areas, don't really practice Eastern religions in Western cultures unless you are from an immigrant from that culture to begin with, right? So I grew up around a lot of like Indian people, so learning about Hindu mythology was not off the table. I had friends who were active Buddhists and who were, active practicing Hindus, so it was pretty easy to access those kinds of things. But then a pretty defining experience for me when I was younger was when I was unfortunately stuck at a very, very conservative neo-evangelical Christian middle school. I realized as an adult it was run by a cult. It was pretty fucking bad. It was not my parents' fault. I don't blame them for it, but I remember having a friend there, and I picked up Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children, which is written by a Muslim Indian author. And the book is about the Indian apartheid and the Pakistani, like the separation of India and Pakistan and the conflict that happened there in the 80s. And a lot of that has a pretty heavy Hindu mythology symbolism in it as well. And so I was learning all about Hindu mythology and the backbone of Hindu religion. And my friend effectively, she was fucking terrified. She was like, I can't be friends with you if you're going to explore these mythologies. So that was the kind of people that I grew up around, where if you effectively looked at or learned about any other mythology other than maybe Greek mythology, then you were effectively instantly going to hell. So if anything, that only sparked my curiosity further. And then when I did finally make a bunch of Buddhist and Hindu friends and Jewish friends as well, it was really exciting to be able to explore other cultures' mythologies and shape my own spiritual worldview from that. And I would love to be able to bring that experience to other people, to be able to make Chinese mythology and Buddhism and Taoism digestible, so that way it's not just watered down like good versus evil, Oh yeah, the Odyssey's chunky. I love Greek mythology. I'm a practicing Hellenic pagan, so I suppose I interpret Greek myth more seriously than most, or in a more religious way than most, I should say. But yeah, I've been in love with that since I was a kid. I feel a very personal connection to that mythology. But point is, mythology's heckin' cool. It's amazing. So I hope I can give that same energy that I felt when I first watched like Monkey King Heroes back, and I was like, oh my god, this mythology is just so expansive. And the Buddhist undercurrents of, fighting fate, becoming a better person, learning how to grow. The heroism comes from not being the most powerful person in the room, but for having the most courage and for having the steadiest heart. And I think that is a very, very cool thing. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jump back into another sprint because I've rambled about long enough. I've done that enough. Oh my god, we got mega sprints today. I feel like the last sprints that, like, last couple of streams have been, like, really short sprints. We got 29. Crazy. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I mean it's a great way to introduce people into mythology. Yeah, I read the Odyssey when I was in high school. It's dense. It's a dense bitch. It's a big ass book. And Homer's good. He's a good writer. I really like the core message of the Odyssey as well. I have not seen the movie because I'm terrified of how bad it probably is. Christopher Nolan has this habit of destroying things that I love, so I tend to not watch his movies. I'm sure Oppenheimer's fine, but I'm worried about his adaptations. His adaptations tend to be not that great. I'm sure it's wonderful to look at, and I hear Zendaya just like mogs the entire movie, which I think is super funny. But I don't know if I'm going to go and watch it. But yeah, all right, I'm going to go ahead and jump into another sprint. So let's get back to work, and I will talk to everybody in about 29 minutes. Here we go. Alright, how did everybody do? I think this is good, and now I need to write another transitionary chapter, and then I should be okay. Not bad. This is a lot of fucking work, but not bad. Now I get to introduce Princess Ironfan much earlier as well, so now I gotta do so much brainstorming on how to wrap this thing up. Because we have 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. If I can wrap this whole comic by 50 chapters, I'm going to be really proud of myself, actually. That might be what I shoot for, but we'll see if that's going to be possible. Hi, Crystal. I've been playing Project Zomboid instead of writing. Oh! The game. Gotcha. Hopefully it's fun, though. I've never played it. I am slowly but surely getting through all of this. It's fun! I got eaten a lot, as you should in a zombie game. As you should. That is cool. I've been just trying really hard to get through Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I want to cry. I'm now to the point where I'm doing all of these River Raid DLC missions, and I want to explode. This game is so fucking repetitive. And it's better than most Assassin's Creed games, I would say, as a comeback game from whatever dark period they were in, from like Assassin's Creed 3 and forward. It is a significant improvement. I like to give the entire franchise a try because it's one of my favorite franchises, or was when I was younger, back when the games weren't so open world and expansive. But I still have a lot of critiques about the game itself and how it functions, and I really like to experience all of the game as it was intended before passing judgment. I can say in terms of combat, much better than a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. Story, amazing. Actors, incredible. The girl that they got to play Eivor, holy shit, she's a powerhouse of an actress. Her character, Eivor's character also overall is significantly better than Cassandra or Alexios from Odyssey. Odyssey was insanely bad. It was okay. I shouldn't say insanely bad, because actually AC Unity and AC3 were fucking bad. That was like just full stop bad. And a lot of the open world stuff they fixed, I would think. But I think the game still has a problem with mechanics bloat, where they introduce a mechanic, like in this case it's like river raiding, so you can ride your little Viking boat down rivers in England and then stop and raid little encampments and stuff. But after you effectively like clear through one area once to get all the chests, there's not really another reason to go back there and river raid it again unless you need more supplies for upgrading your gear. But like, I am now way over leveled. Like, I think the level cap for most stuff is like it's considered late game once you hit 250. I'm almost at level 500, right? So I'm massively over leveled at this point. The whole skill tree is unlocked, so I'm in it. But now I'm at the point where I'm so overpowered that upgrading stuff no longer matters. So their solution to that was, well, what if we just added free DLC that would allow you to raid the rivers over and over and over again to get new armor, and it is the most repetitive shit you've ever done in your whole life. And also, the loot drops for the armor are not in a specific location. It's a random RNG, so if you don't get it the first time, sucks for you, and you have to do it again, and it's like, oh my god. Like, I don't know why they keep walking themselves into this trap, because I think, like, Odyssey had the same issue where the map was so large that it was just 99% open space. There was literally nothing going on. And what made the first couple of Assassin's Creeds very successful is that Ezio was given the problem, or even Altair was given the problem of having to fix one very large metropolitan city. And that seems significantly more realistic for a single person with or without an assassin's bureau to back them, right? But now We have Alexios literally going to the entirety of the Greek island system. Like, you're hitting Ios, Paros, fucking Santorini, Mykonos, all of them. And then Valhalla has the same issue where it's not just, okay, well, I am a Viking that is looking to establish a large settlement on the east coast, maybe in like the, like, kind of like, or maybe even the central part of England is where the settlement is located. So near, like, north of London, right? It's, I want to take over the entirety of the English continent. So we're taking everything from Essex to Gloucestershire, all the way up, all the way north into Northumbria, all the way south into Sussex. And it's like, holy shit, this is such a large area. Like, why? Why? And so the game just feels really overbloated. I love the content, but I'm now reaching the point where I'm like, damn, this is unnecessarily large. Like, I've dumped probably close to 100 hours in the game, and I'm still trudging through shit, which is crazy. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I would say if you want to play it, because the character stuff is good, but the free DLC is included with the base game. It's a free update, so unfortunately you can't, like, opt out of it. And so my completionist brain is like, bro, I can't leave these open quests sitting here like this, and then I'm just suffering. So that's what happened to me. I am traumatized. And Eivor's so fucking cool. She's so cool. Girl Eivor better than boy Eivor, though. Gonna throw that out there as well. Boy Eivor, weak Eivor. I love how they had to put a man in there just to make the neckbeards happy. They were like, they're not going to buy an Assassin's Creed game if it's just a girl, so here's the beard version of Eivor. Oh. But that's been my quest lately. Oh, we hit Ad Town. Uh-oh. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break still more, though. Because I need to strategize. Oh, I'm on a quest to finish Witcher 3 before the next expansion hits. I believe! I believe in you! I believe! I haven't played any of the Witcher games except the first one, and I really need to. Witcher 3 especially is really beautiful. I gotta figure out which page this is. Where is this? Oh wait, no, it's not this. there. It's right here. Hmm. Okay. For a 10-year-old game, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's fun. And also, too, the Witcher lore is just fucking fantastic in general. Really, really good. Ew, Instagram is having a rebrand. Ew! Sorry, I looked at the new font and it's just... Ugh. Oh god, and the typography is really bad. It looks like it says Inkstazam. God, they're trying to save Instagram. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. I've been traumatized. I can't look at the Instagram logo anymore. Alright. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump back in then while I still have about an hour left into another sprint. So I have to figure out effectively how to get from this chapter into this next one. But I'm feeling very comfortable with the amount of stuff that I'm just cutting out. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Wow, we are getting the longest sprints. Oh yeah, play it with the original Polish voiceover. Oh, absolutely. No, I always do. I feel the same way about Genshin Impact. I play with the Chinese voiceover always. The English voice actors, while there are some great, like, main actors in the title itself, they suck ass. The Chinese voice actors are better. They're always, always, always better. Same deal. I love playing with the appropriate dub. But that's awesome. No, I love that. And also, Polish is a beautiful language to listen to. Okay, well, I'm going to jump into this 22-minute sprint. And then I'll be back in a little bit. So good luck with everybody doing whatever it is that you're doing. And I will be chatting with you soon. Here we go. Alright, how did everybody do? I am still putting this thing together. It's slowly coming, but this is insane. This is just rough. I'll get there. I was trying to figure out how to make this not super exposition-y, and then to get right back into where I was before. I recognize we're about to go into Ad Town and chat is quite quiet, so I'm just going to go back into another sprint unless somebody wants me to speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh, we got a short sprint. We'll go for another little bit. Also, everybody should hydrate. Hydrate! But ads are starting in 5, so I'm going to jump back into this sprint and then be back once ads are done. Here we go. Alright. Well, I've successfully added a bunch of pages instead of removed a bunch of pages, which is the opposite of what I'm supposed to do. Hi, guys, I'm ready. My mom's here. Hi, Mom. I'm trying to, get this to go. It's not working. Rough. Rough. Oh, yeah, it's because I was muted and I was working. If you can hear music, you can hear the stream. But during these sprints, I work muted, and I have that timer going up in the corner. And so I don't tend to chat until it's this time. Yep, no, I was just in the zone. I was trying to figure out what I'm doing, and the answer is I don't know. Because I've set up a really good, like, in storytelling, there's this thing. Let me look at my notes here. I guess I'm just gonna have to just go through it and trust my gut. There's this thing in writing when you get to a character arc, and it's like called the Pit of Despair, and it's when your characters effectively can't get along, and so I have to figure out if I've reached that point, and that's fine. That's a good place. That's what you want. Is you want them to be in the pit of despair. I think about The Princess Bride a lot. Where were we? Yes, the Pit of Despair. I think about that shit. So, it's going. I might continue to just work on this today. I've kind of taken my schedule and just thrown it to the wind. So this might be my pet project for the rest of the day, actually. Because I need to make sure that this chapter is not like... There's just so much... There's so much content! I need to go away so that I don't die. Okay. Because a lot of this is a direct one-for-one translation from the original book. Which is fine, but I don't need that anymore. I only have about 8 minutes left of stream, so I'll probably just call it here so that I can really sit down and try and finish cleaning this up. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like today was relatively productive. First and foremost, thank you so much to Lear the Witch for that 40-month sub. Because you are truly the most dedicated human in this chat. Insane. Also, thanks so much to Gabriel for the biddies. That was very, very nice. I appreciate it. A good biddy every once in a while. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll be probably just writing more of this because I don't really feel comfortable. We'll see if I can get through the script today. If I can get through the script today, tomorrow I will be drawing comics. If I can't get through the script today, then tomorrow I'm going to be writing comics. So it really just kind of depends on what I have the ability to do. We'll see. I have to think. I must plot. I must look at this script from a bigger, like, I need to zoom out. Crazy. So I will see everybody tomorrow. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.